Hey everybody, welcome back to GLC TV, and today we've got just a straight up gameplay video for you all. This is actually a tournament game, and this is the actual finals from our April tournament over at Clubhouse Games between Michael playing a lightning spread and Rona playing a water rain dance hydro pump deck. And both of these players are actually badge holders in our league. They've both gone 3-0, won a tournament and gotten a badge. I know Michael has a darkness and a water badge, and Rona, I believe, has a colorless badge, may have other types, but that I'm not aware of. For those who don't know, Gym Leader Challenge is an alternative format of the Pokemon TCG in which players build their 60 card deck by choosing a single type of Pokemon to use, and also can only include one copy of each card in their deck besides basic energies. Players can include cards from sets going back to the first black and white set, and cannot include any A-Spec cards or Rulebox cards like Pokemon EX, Radiant Pokemon, Prism Stars, etc. So Michael's deck is a lightning spread deck. He told me it's actually the same 60 that Cole played at the Full Grip Games 1K tournament. So we're using Electivire, Regieleki, Tapu Koko, cards like that to spread damage around. Instead of taking one KO at a time, it's trying to spread small amounts of damage so it can get a ton of KOs all at once. Rona playing a hydro pump deck with water, so using cards like Frostmoth to accelerate a lot of water energy onto her Pokemon so they can make big attacks, and has the new Whale Lord from Journey Together, which has 240 HP and with 4 water energy attached can hit for 210 damage. But it is weak to lightning. Alright. We have Michael on the left and Rona on the right. And Michael won the coin flip, so I'm going to have Rona go first so he can go second. Rona starting off with a Finizen in the active spot. And Michael's got the Mareep and just an attach and pass for Rona. Now this Mareep is the rear kick version, so it does 1 energy for 10 damage. But it is hitting for weakness here. Michael's got the Blitzel on the bench. Attach. If he was running the other Mareep that does the Shock Bolt for 30 damage, he would have actually had the win here. 1 energy, 30 damage, discard a lightning energy. I've seen a lot of people using that Mareep because with Electro Power and like a Muscle Band, you can do 80 damage for 1 energy. But going to use Professor's Letter to get 2 lightning energy out of the deck. Pretty much just thinning since he's already attached for turn. And I'm gonna go back in with an Ultra Ball here. This is Michael's first turn, so he can't evolve anything right now. Discards Lightning Energy and Marnie, so the Professor's Letter did give him some extra cards to discard there. Gonna grab the Zebstrika and Evo Incense. Interesting, he's choosing to grab these cards before he can evolve. If Rona has something like a Marnie, then those cards will go to the bottom of the deck, and Michael will no longer even have the items to search them out anymore. So a bit risky to get these. So gets the Flaffy off the Evo Incense. This is something you might do against a grass deck, which has the Badoo, which can item lock. I'm going to rear kick for 20 damage thanks to the weakness. And Rona gets to take another turn. Alright, so Rona is going to Dive Ball and grab Wailmer. And again, going to Tate and Liza to shuffle our hand into her deck and draw 5 cards as a supporter. Could also use it to switch if she wanted to. That is a modal supporter. So it makes it a very flexible card compared to something like Cynthia, which gets you 1 more card, but doesn't have the option to work as a switch. Of course, you could also play Bird Keeper and switch and draw 3 cards. You get both effects. Okay, gonna play Hisuian Heavy Ball. Can't see what's in the prizes. but it is going to fail to find anything. So nothing, no basics in the prizes. Is she going to evolve the Finizen here with its ability? Oh, nice. Has a Buddy Buddy Poffin. So going to finally be able to set up her bench fully. We know none of her basics are prized, but always got to check which evolutions might be prized, since you don't want to grab something that you can't evolve into. Okay, gonna grab Sobble and Snom. Oh, it has the Palafin in hand, so it doesn't have to use the attack to evolve it. And looks like gonna use the 30 attack. And 30 damage to the benched Blitzel. Jet Punch. But didn't have the disruption, so Michael does get to keep his Zebstrika and Flaffy in hand. But he doesn't have anything set up to start attacking or to start taking damage. Doesn't really want to be absorbing damage with Flaffy or the Zebstrika. Needs to find a basic before he evolves into Flaffy so he can retreat with just one energy. Just going to go ahead and evolve. Yeah, might have to just evolve and sprint. Zebstrika ability, able to discard the hand and draw 4 cards. Powerful ability, but can sometimes make it awkward to manage resources. I don't know about attaching the energy to the Zebstrika there. I feel like you want to just attach it to the Flaffy so you can retreat it if you find something good off the sprint. Let's see if he finds anything. Get some kind of basic. Okay, there we go. More Peko. That's a good one. That's exactly your pawn that you want to sacrifice while you build up your bench. But he's stuck now with the Flaffy in the active. So we're gonna Dynamotor. And he had one in the discard pile. So he could have, if he attached to the Flaffy instead of the Zebstrika, could have retreated here and had Dynamotor to the Morpeko and shut off Jet Punch. Although it wouldn't have stopped the Pal finish yet if Rona has a switch. And it looks like Michael's got his own Tate and Liza and going to have to use it to switch. And going to use Torment and going to shut off probably Jet Punch. And is hitting for weakness. So yep, going to choose Jet Punch to shut off. Because of course, Justice Kick is only working if Palafin switches, which would turn off the Morpeko's Torment ability. Or Torment attack effect. Drizzile evolving Sobble. Gonna use Shading Dealings. Looks like she got it off a level ball. Able to grab any trainer card from the deck. Super powerful ability. Gonna get Guzma. Alright, so it looks like gonna be going on the offense here. She can Guzma and then find a way to retreat the Palafin and get an energy on it. Okay, she's got the retreater. Cast form with free retreat. Gonna Guzma up the... So already retreated the cast form, but still deciding what to Guzma. Gonna get the Zebstrika. Still needs energy. There's the energy. Okay, so we're gonna see a Justice Kick here to take out the Zebstrika and cut off Michael from his draw power. And Rona taking the first prize of the game. Yeah, getting that Zebstrika is a big deal. It is Lightning's most powerful draw effect. And we saw the Rescue Stretcher had to get discarded to sprint earlier, so it's going to be a challenge for Michael to find a way to get this set up. He does have a Speed Lightning in hand, it looks like, so he's going to be able to draw some cards. And we know that Palafin already has 60 damage on it, so it's down to 90 HP. And Spark does 50, so he could actually knock it out with a Spark here from Morpeko. Going to draw 2 off the Speed Lightning. Finds the Stormy Mountains, that's a good one. Can finally start to get this bench set up. Okay, uses Stormy Mountains. Can grab any Lightning basic Pokemon or Dragon basic Pokemon from the deck and put it onto the bench. Okay, gonna get the Electabuzz and try to start setting up a Electivire. Has the Raihan as well. It looks like he grabbed Electivire off the Raihan. Kind of surprising. I would have thought maybe get like a Super Rod or something, or a recovery item, so you can get back your Zebstrika keeping that Zebstrika in play is really important for the Lightning deck. And if he had gotten something like a Super Rod, he'd be able to get the Blitzel out next turn. And here we see the Spark attack for 100 damage. Thanks to the weakness, and going to do 20 damage to the cast form. Setting it up for a knockout with Electivire on a later turn since it has 70 HP. And at this point, if Rona's got Manaphy in this deck, you would expect she'd probably want to try to start finding it right about now. I don't know the deck list as of recording this, so we'll have to see if there's a Manaphy in this deck or if she's not running it. Gonna play an Arven. Doesn't currently have any attackers set up or ready to go. But if she can get Frostmoth out, she could start powering up something. Maybe the Whale Lord. Could also Arven for a way to get the Inteleon into hand and then get 2 trainers off of that. That would be quite powerful. See her eyeing up an Evolution Incense. Okay, looks like Evo Incense. And I'm not sure what the tool was, but we'll find out in a moment. Okay, gets Inteleon, evolves to Inteleon, now able to use the Inteleon Shady Dealings to get 2 trainer cards. So could get another ball card to get Frostmoth and maybe a bucket or something to get some energy into hand. And could take a knockout with the Inteleon. Ultra Ball. Did already use Dive Ball, so... Okay, Scoop Up Net and Bucket. Scoop Up Net, really one of the best cards you can get with Inteleon, since you can then Scoop Up Net the Inteleon, put the Sobble down, and then keep Shady Dealings for the next 2 turns. And Capacious Bucket as well. So does she have the Frostmoth though? So angling for a knockout, but might not be able to get Manaphy out this turn if it's in the deck. Interesting. Gonna scoop up the cast form to get the 2 damage off of it. And possibly just to get it out of play altogether. And a Lux Cape, but no attack from the Inteleon, and still a 30 HP Snom in play. So that was interesting. Yeah, which Snom is that? 50 HP Snom. So still dies to an Electivire. And Michael going to use Stormy Mountains again. Still no Blitzel in the deck. Eyeing up Regieleki or Zapdos. Gets Regieleki. Important to note, Zapdos does not hit for weakness with its attack, so can't knock out the Inteleon with the Zapdos. Would be doing 100 damage with the Morpeko, though. There's the Super Rod. Alright, here we go. Interesting. Maybe should have Super Rodded first, then Stormy Mountain, but that's how it goes. Okay, gonna use Dynamotor to put energy on the Electivire. Attaching for a turn, and now he has Electivire ready to go. But interesting, he's gonna use Torment for 40 damage. So that Inteleon cannot use Aqua Bullet, and putting Rona in a tough position now. But at least her Snom has not been knocked out. Torment doing 40 damage there thanks to weakness. Has a Super Rod. Okay, Rona going to use Super Rod to shuffle in the Palafin line and a Water Energy back into the deck. And going to use Ball Guy now. She's already used Hisuian Heavy Ball, Dive Ball. I think she's still and level ball. So what do we have? We've got Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, and Quick Ball. All right, still good. A lot of balls in the water deck. Ultra Ball going to be able to get that Frostmoth set up. And importantly, out of KO range. The Finizen, though, that has 50 HP. So getting one Pokemon out of KO range, but putting another one in danger. And I'm going to attach an energy to the Finizen. But if she retreats, she could attack with it and get it evolved up with that Ascension attack. Okay, so it's actually not bad. Okay, retreats into the Finizen. Oh, not going to use the Ultra Ball, though. Going to leave that Snom at 50 HP. Probably doesn't have enough cards in hand, maybe. Although she did have a quick ball, so. And then that Palafin gets switched back to the bench. Gonna sacrifice the Snom in the active spot. Okay. Well, now he can just take the KO with the Morpeko and put 20 damage on the Inteleon. Although I guess the Inteleon has a Luxcape on it. Okay, Stormy Mountains. Finally getting the Blitzel back into play with the Stormy Mountains. She did have 3 cards in hand, so I guess she just couldn't discard what those two, whatever that last card was, because I'm sure she would have discarded the Quick Ball. But yeah, would have left her with 0 cards in hand and no abilities on board, so probably another supporter she needed to keep in hand. Floatstone on the Regieleki. And we're going to Spark here for the knockout on the Snom. Has to think a little bit about where to put it. Rona trying to maybe suggest putting it on the Inteleon, and that's what we're going to do. So Inteleon now has 60 damage on it. Still has the Luxurious Cape though. But no energy and no switching prospects. So now a tough decision. Send out the Inteleon. I hope you draw an energy. But you don't. She only has 1 energy on the Palafin. So yeah, just send out the Palafin and probably gonna have to go with Jet Punch here. Splash energy on the Whalmer. Just needs a draw. We have not seen Octillery. Really crunched on cards here without Octillery. And we're gonna see a Jet Punch for 30 damage. Puts 30 damage on the Electivire. Counter energy on the Regieleki. Has the Zebstrika. Zebstrika is back online. And Michaels can just take his time here. Just no pressure from Rona right now. Kind of just setting up the damage the way he wants to. Alright, gonna get his last bench slot filled up with Stormy Mountains. I think Zapdos is the last one, or maybe the electric, but no electric. Possibly prized. There's the Zapdos. Okay. Counter gain on the Zebstrika. Interesting choice. And then going to sprint away an S-Ball. Draw 4 cards. Hisuian Heavy Ball. Probably going to find the eel in there. Unless it's the evolution that was prized. Dynamo is the name of it. Yep, there's the Dynamo. Was stuck in the prizes. But now can't get it into play because that Zapdos is filling up that bench slot. I'll use an Arven. Might want to get a U-turn board. Although I think Sparking here. Okay, gonna get Muscle Band and Enhanced Hammer to get that splash energy off the Whalmer. But yeah, Sparking here makes sense. 100 damage to the Palafin, puts it at 50 HP. And then you just start taking knockouts with Electivire. That Whalmer is still just kind of sitting there menacingly. Hasn't been able to really do anything about it so far. Muscle Band on the Electivire. That is interesting. Oh, Electro Power. And that means that this Electivire is going to be doing 100 damage with its high voltage attack ×2 for weakness. And can now actually take the knockout on the Palafin. So high voltage current is going to be doing 200 damage thanks to weakness with the addition of Muscle Band and Electro Power. And going to spread 50 damage to the Inteleon and the Whalmer. So Inteleon has 90 damage on it, minus 160. He's got 50 HP left, plus 100. So Inteleon at 150 HP and the Whalmer at 80 HP. We're going to see an Ultra Ball here, discarding that Cast Form and the Quick Ball. Oh, that's right. She had Cast Form in hand. Yeah, I don't know. Gets the Whalmer. Where is that Octillery and where is the... I guess there's no Manaphy. Because we saw the Hisuian Heavy Ball got played. So Inteleon players confirmed Inteleon has 140 HP left thanks to the Lux Cape. And that Whale Lord down to 190 HP. Modest number, 190, you know, just as much as a Torterra. But yeah, it's not looking good for Rona here. But is able to take the knockout, it looks like, with Aqua Bullet. Oh, that's right. From the Jet Punch. Had 30 damage on it. So Aqua Bullet does take the knockout and puts 20 more damage on the Flaffy. Oh, no, on the... Yeah, that's right, on the Flaffy. Okay, so Rona now down to 4 prizes. Michael's at 3 prizes. Promotes the Morpeko and now has Dynamo. I wonder if that was a little bit of a misplay since he has a Float Stone on the Regieleki. He could have promoted the Regieleki, Dynamoted to the Morpeko, and then retreated. You usually always want to promote into your pivot. Now he needs to find an energy into his hand. He can't use Dynamotor onto the Morpeko on the bench. Okay, Versus Seeker for Michael. Gets back the Raihan. So there we go. Now he can get the energy on. Going to be able to power up this Regieleki now. And yeah, that was probably the more powerful play. I shouldn't have said that. I guess Morpeko is his pivot because if he was able to get the Raihan play, now able to Dynamotor onto the Regieleki and can now use that Terra Spark attack to hit for 240 and take 2 prizes off the Inteleon. And would not have been able to do that if he sent up the Regieleki. So I think Michael made a good play there, and I misspoke. Yeah, Luxcape on a Pokemon when your opponent has the weakness advantage on you is often actually just a mistake. You're kind of just giving your opponent an easy route to 2 prizes. So I try to keep Luxcape off of my Pokemon when my opponent has the weakness advantage. So I guess he could retreat the Morpeko and then Dynamotor to it. Yep, gonna Dynamotor back to the Morpeko. And now Terra Spark, gonna discard all lightning energy from Regieleki, and that counter energy is a colorless energy. So gonna be able to keep 1 energy on it. Hits for weakness. Oh no. Sounds like Rona may have forgotten about the weakness. And then does 40 damage to the Whale Lord. So that Whale Lord has 90 damage on it. So whatever that is, 150 HP left. And gonna get knocked out by another Terra Spark. So yeah, doesn't have to discard the counter energy. Down to 1 prize. Rona down to just 150 HP Whale Lord on the table. Just was not able to set up her board. Really curious to see what her prizes were. If there is an Octillery in the prizes. Okay, gonna Marnie for Rona. Brooklet Hill, Water Energy, Super Neutral. There's the Octillery. And the Remoraid wasn't in the prizes because she played Hisuian Heavy Ball. So yeah, I think it just shows you really got to prioritize getting that Octillery set up in these water decks to keep the card flow going. And it looks like, well, the Brooklet Hill could get her another basic, but probably no way to get this Whale Lord out of knockout range from the Terra Spark. Yeah, I think there was some misprioritizations. Frostmoth is probably the card you get set up after you set up Sobble and Octillery. Scoop Up Net would have helped her a lot if she had used it on the Inteleon. Could have been able to get a bunch more trainers out of her deck and get more set up, but ended up using it to heal 20 damage off of the cast form and get it out of play. And Rona's going to pass, and now it is on Michael. Basically just has to find a switch card. He can retreat the Regieleki with the Float Stone. Once he retreats it, he can Dynamotor to it. He can sprint away to find either a switch card or he needs electric as well. Well, actually, no, he just needs to get an energy into his hand. So he's going to Ordinary Rod. Just going to shuffle the 2 energy into the deck so he doesn't clog his deck up with Pokemon that he doesn't want to draw. Going to Evo Soda. Going to be able to get the electric out. And now he just needs a switch. So he can only retreat once per turn. If he finds the switch off the sprint, he's got the game. Even if he doesn't, though, Rona's got her work cut out for getting 4 prizes with her Whale Lord damage, and having to deal with weakness was rough this game for sure. That Morpeko was a lot more deadly. That Electivire was a lot more deadly with the weakness effect. Attaching to the Zebstrika. Oh, the Zebstrika can do 60, 120, but he retreats to the Morpeko. Maybe he's out of switches. So he gave up on trying to take the knockout here and just goes for the disable on the hydro pump for 40 damage. That means that the Whale Lord's down to 110. So he does have the game here with the Zebstrika. If he retreats into Zebstrika, he can take the knockout with weakness. Yeah, not sure what Rona's outs would be here. Would have to set up a board, get some more abilities in play. Credit to Rona here, just thinking through all the possible outs. This is the finals. I mean, if you concede, the game ends instantly. So you might as well think about what you can do, what routes you could take to possibly set up a comeback. Water can set up crazy comebacks by using Kyogre. You know, if you can boss trap something and your opponent's out of switches, boss trap one of their 3 retreat Pokemon and then just start going off. But the problem is you need Baxcalibur to do that. You can't do it with Frostmoth. And I don't know if Rona's deck is running Baxcalibur. She is running the Kyogre. I saw that. I don't know if Kyogre is good. There we go. That's the concession. Rona's saying she's got no outs.
Oh, you did?
I did. Well, because I promoted the Inteleon. I should have done that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're still doing the same thing. Look up that yeah, when you had like no, I was just gonna torment lock you.
That torment is quite strong.
I just want to know how your game went.
Oh, it went pretty nice. I love Lightning Spread, you know. Lightning Spread is just so versatile. The motors are so good with health accelerating energy. And also I love the spread damage. It's so satisfying to see like those numbers go up and take those multiple prizes, you know.
What did you think about how it went in the end?
It went pretty
Pretty well for you.
yeah, it went pretty well for me. Morpeko is an MVP. Just keep tormenting spam. Pretty rad.
Thank you. And Michael takes another badge for the GLC League at Clubhouse Games with his Lightning Spread deck. So big congratulations to Michael for going 3-0 that night. Congratulations to Rona for making it to the finals. And thank you all for watching, and we hope to catch you for the next GLC TV video.